Is going on, Multiversus? Welcome back to the channel. First things first, I'm trying out some new sound settings with my mic, so if anything sounds different, let me know. If it's better, great. If it's terrible, let me know. I'm just playing around with some settings. But so today I got a little topic about some characters that, just to name a few, Ben 10, for example, maybe Daffy Duck, Powerpuff Girls, maybe Samurai Jack, characters like that. Honestly, name anybody you want, but it has to be kind of like a more highly requested kind of character. Now, where am I going with this? Well, the topic of the video is, should those characters be left off of the base roster altogether? And what I mean by that is, would it be beneficial to leaving characters that are highly requested off of the base roster? Now, there are some pros to it, as well as there's cons, because well, I don't know. This whole conversation started with somebody on Discord messaging me and asking me about this, and I was like, well, it's actually kind of an interesting little thought to have. Should they have characters like Ben 10? Should we not have them on the base roster and save them for post-launch? And that's kind of what I wanted to go over today. So first up, I'm going to go over a few pros why leaving off highly requested characters is actually a good thing for Multiversus. So first things first, the first pro that I thought of is not only by keeping characters like maybe a Ben 10 or Daffy Duck, keeping them off of the roster, characters that are highly requested, it keeps the hype, it keeps the momentum going, right? Because it's like, all right, there's big fish in, well, I mean, in Warner Brothers' case, it's a really big, it's an ocean, right? But there's a lot of big fish that could still be out there. So there's always that intrigue of, all right, yeah, Ben 10 could be next. Daffy Duck could be next. Samurai Jack could be next. We didn't get it for the base roster, so they know that the fan base wants those type of characters. So, I mean, it's a pro that it keeps the hype going and, keeps interest drummed up. I mean, like Smash Bros, for example. I mean, Smash is kind of its own thing at this point, but the next character reveal, who's it going to be? Because we're all waiting to be excited about it and surprised. And, well, I think Multiversus can kind of do that same thing, even if they still have some of those more requested characters out there. It just helps build intrigue about the game overall. Another pro that I thought that kind of made sense, by keeping characters like a Daffy Duck, for example, or another Scooby-Doo character, or, multiple characters from the same series, you don't bloat the roster or overly bloat the roster with the same series, right? This way, the base roster in this case, we could get some love spread out to other series that may only get one character or, something like that. So not bloating the series with one series that gets, dare we say, overrepresented, and maybe some other characters, other series are like, wait a minute, isn't this one a little bit more, isn't this series more popular? Shouldn't this series be getting a little bit more love? Isn't it a bit more important? So just not bloating the roster with specific series is kind of a good thing for kind of holding off, at least for now, which is, again, take Looney Tunes as an example. So Daffy Duck. So we know Bugs Bunny's going to be on the roster, right? That's already confirmed. So say they announce 3 more Looney Tunes for base roster. That could be a total of 4 for base roster, and then it's like, wait a minute. Okay, look, we get Looney Tunes as Looney Tunes, right? Everybody knows what that is and who they are. But do we need to keep adding characters from the Looney Tunes franchise? How about, go in a different direction. Go with a show that maybe hasn't even gotten a character yet. Kind of spread the love out. So I guess that's pro number 2. Pro number 3 is going to be kind of, by keeping out some of these highly requested characters, it does kind of keep the roster unique and fresh, right? Let me take Looney Tunes, for example, right? Would it be a safe assumption that Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck could possibly share similarities? Just when you think about a moveset concept or an idea, right? When you think about that stuff, yeah, they might share some similarities, but if we want to keep characters feeling fresh, something new that hasn't been done yet on the roster, so Bugs Bunny's on the roster, and now here comes Ben 10, who's completely different and in every way imaginable, moveset, animation, all that sort of stuff. With the alien transformations, for example, that keeps the roster fresh. It keeps the characters just feeling so unique. And isn't that one of the best parts about the roster, the characters getting revealed? The play style? I don't need another Sorry, Smash Bros. But I don't need another sword fighter, right? Most sword fighters are going to play somewhat the same. Yes, you can change it up and get a little creative here and there, but after it's been done a million times, we're going to see a lot of similarities, and it's just going to be like, all right, just give me something else at this point. So, just, diverse cast of characters, for highly requested ones. I mean, that's another point for a positive, I suppose. Now, moving on to the cons. First one is I want them right now. Okay, I just want them right now. Look, I'm going to be selfish. If they're highly requested characters, odds are I'm going to want them. You guys are going to want them again. Throw out any character you want. I'll just take Ben 10 as an example. We keep using that. But I want Ben 10 on the roster, and I want him right now. So why should we have to wait, right? No. We want him now. He's highly requested. I mean, the official Multiversus Discord, I think on Reddit at one point he's highly requested. I've seen him on Twitter quite a bit being requested. He's one of the more requested characters, right? So why do we need to wait for him if he's very highly requested? Don't save him. Put him in the game now. Like, us being selfish is kind of a con for, not including these characters. Did that make sense? That didn't make sense in my head. But con nonetheless. We don't need to wait for him when we could have him right now. Does that make sense? I think that did. Now, con number 2, this one's a bit more interesting. So the reason I came up with is, think about it this way. The highly requested characters, Daffy Duck, Ben 10 again, sticking with the same theme here. So think about those two characters. They're highly requested. What if they don't make it into the base roster, right? That might deter some people from looking at the roster and going, oh, wait a minute. You have character Z when we wanted A, B, and C. Why are we going so far out of the reach, and why are we going with some original character? Why can't we get the big hitters, the heavy hitters right now? So it's going to make people question the roster. You're going to look at it, and sure, it's always nice to have a few curveballs, but when you're missing some very obvious characters, people are going to, that majority of people, when you're looking at the game for the first time and you go, ooh, this is Multiversus, it's going to have Looney Tunes and DC and all this sort of stuff. Well, what if this game didn't have Batman? What if this game didn't have Bugs Bunny? You're like, wait a minute. You have Looney Tunes and DC. You don't have Batman or it could be a bit of a head scratcher. So it's kind of like, well, the roster, maybe somebody would look at it at the point of, they don't have confidence in the roster if they're not getting the big names out there. So we don't need to save them. Let's just get them now, And the third and final con that I came up with for saving the characters for post-launch, why they shouldn't do this is maybe, what if you look at it and you go, all right, we don't have Ben 10, we don't have Daffy Duck on the base roster. Well, if they're not going to come in the base roster, does that mean the devs wouldn't have any sort of faith in the character? They don't have any confidence that they can make a great moveset, that they don't feel like they can have a proper representation of the character? So if the character's left off, basically, if they're not in the base roster, there will be people that will look at it and go, wait, if they're not going to do my favorite character right now, who is highly requested, then I'm not going to have any, I'm not going to have faith in the developers, and then, why should I invest my time if the ones that we want right now are not the ones we're getting right now? And instead of A, B, and C, we're getting X, Y, Z. Like, no, flip that the other way. We want the good stuff first, and then we could get into the strange stuff. Although, again, we can make a point that the strange characters every now and then are really good for the game because it spices things up. It just, throws you a curveball. It's something you're not expecting, and that's sometimes that's the beauty of the character reveals. We might think it's something, but then it ends up being something else. But we like the something else just as much, or close to it at least. But just a few pros and few pros and cons for saving characters. So here's my question: anybody watching this far into the video, should highly requested characters be saved for post-launch? I kind of think it would be a smart idea to hold back on some of them. Again, just using the same characters. Hold back on Ben 10, hold back on Daffy Duck for post-launch. That way the game is building up, the game comes out, a lot of hype around it, and then you can announce the first character is Ben 10 for post-launch. Like, they're on a good roll. They're starting strong. Hopefully they can continue this, and then say the next character is Samurai Jack. It's like, whoa, let's go. They're getting the characters that we want. They're listening to us. So I'm kind of fine with if they save some of them. Don't save every single one of them. No, we want some of them now. So what do you think? Should they save some? Should they save all? Whatever it is. I think most people will probably say save some. But there'll be, tons of opinions are going to be involved. But that is going to be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little different video. I don't know, is this different from what I normally do? And it's still Multiversus, so whatever. But yeah, that is all that I got for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed as always. And I guess I'll see you when I'm looking at you.